Hello everyone, my name is Anton Vakhotin and I'm in charge of training and knowledge-based content across the EMEA region. In Nigeria, I was assigned the task of training the store manager and the kitchen staff. And I actually went to Nigeria to meet the toughest challenge I've ever had working at Dodo Pizza. And from the very beginning, it was clear that training in Nigeria would be the most difficult pre-start training like ever. So for your better understanding of what it was like, I'll compare a usual staff training with the training in Лагоса. So first of all, when you open a store in Russia, all operational aspects such as menu, recipes, ingredients, equipment, and cleaning chemicals are standardized, and you're pretty confident about what you're going to teach. In Nigeria, all these aspects were either obscure or could be changed at any time. So we had to reserve a day just to examine the situation and make sure the store was ready for the opening. A typical training usually lasts for 6 days, and even after this time, a perfect result is not guaranteed. In Nigeria, our partners had planned to throw a party for investors and local bloggers, and it was planned for the third day after I arrived. So we had only 2 days to teach the guys all the necessary skills and knowledge. So usually for successful training, the group should be large. It usually amounts to 10 to 12 people. In Nigeria, we had to train 18 people. Usually, the first customers are random people who don't necessarily express their opinion publicly, which means if the team makes a mistake, which happens quite often at the start, this won't spread around and it won't jeopardize the store's reputation. Whereas in Лагоса, our first customers were investors and local bloggers who were expected to post their reviews online, and you understand that the pressure was great. Usually first orders arrive occasionally and sporadically, and speed is significant but not crucial. In Nigeria, we had to prepare pizzas in 2 batches of 50 and 100 pizzas, which were supposed to be ready at a specific time, and delays were unacceptable. And you understand, we couldn't start making them like 1 hour in advance because the pizzas had to be super fresh to win complimentary reviews from the bloggers. And so the task, to sum up, the task was to train 18 newbies in just 2 days to prepare 150 pizzas to win complimentary reviews from bloggers, and delays were unacceptable. So the challenge was so tough that I was actually going to Nigeria thinking that was my last trip as a Dodo employee. Okay, and what we did. First thing, we limited the range of products. We selected like 6 most compelling pizzas and confined to only one size, 35 centimeters. We added Dotster to the menu because Dotsters can be made in advance, and they could fill the gap if we wouldn't be able to ensure sustainable flow of pizzas. Before the trip, we created standards and tests and agreed with Shafiq, the area manager, that they would learn the standards and do the tests, and they really did a great job because we didn't have to explain simple things when we arrived. We optimized the training schedule to almost theoretical degree, removing lots of things. Of course, hygiene and food safety remained, but things like thin crust, rolls, and other sides were left for the day after the party. We created a very precise plan of what would happen during the party, and we tried to follow and track the time like every minute. During the training session, we looked carefully at every employee, noting down their strengths and weaknesses to point them to the right position. And we came up with a distribution plan that included 2 people on slapping, 4 people at topping, with 4 assistants whose task was to give prompts of what ingredient goes next and make sure that we had enough ingredients. There was a special person who controlled the quality of everything that got into the oven. 2 people were cutting pizzas and packing them, and there were 2 people who put dusters in the oven and 2 people who packed them. And I'd like to thank Pasha Emiliano for his commitment and help during the training session. And we did it. We didn't just only prepare everything on time. We did some additional orders for VIP guests, and the quality was really good. When everything was over and they went out into the dining room, the partners team was checking out the feedback cards that they had given to the guests, and I grabbed the first stack of like 20 cards, and to my great regret, all of them were negative. It nearly killed me, but then I noticed another stack like this size, which contained only positive, really complimentary reviews, and this is one of them. Best pizza I've ever tasted. Okay, and a few words about the team. Actually, the guys are extraordinary. They didn't just manage to prepare in a very extremely short time. They prepared pizzas that were ready to be served to customers on the first day, and they kept progressing, increasing the kitchen speed, the production speed, like every day until they reached 100. So that's impressive. In team management, we relied on 2 simple things. That's clear, smart tasks and positive feedback. So every time I explained a task, I provided as many details as possible and checked that everything was ready afterwards and provided feedback. And I praised the guys for every single mere achievement that they did. And I encouraged them. I exuded optimism and communicated to the team, and they really believed that I was sure everything would be all right. In fact, I wasn't at all. Yeah, and to recap my insight from that training, I would like to say that if things seem impossible for you, if you start thinking, don't get scared. If you start thinking, if you define what makes it impossible, you will see that it becomes almost possible. And then you work out what you can do with it, and the task becomes possible. And then you start planning and prioritizing things, and the task just becomes hard but attainable. And in Dodo Pizza, we're not afraid of hardships. So planning and prioritizing really work miracles. Yeah, and speaking about the team, your team is a vehicle that can drive you to success, but it won't accelerate if you don't fuel it with optimism and sincere belief that they would be successful. And at the end, I would like to show you a short video from the kitchen. Oops.
Hello guys, just say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, look at the speed, 70.
Yeah.
They're aiming at 100, right?
Yeah. Very soon, very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so the guys are great. And thank you for your attention. Have a productive week and get ready for the best celebration party ever. Thanks.